Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast. We are back. And hey, Jav, what do you think about the potential new client? Not a client, but the next guy in line. He's a client for Islam. As his client. I don't know how that works. The next customer. Yeah.
um, well, I was thinking that Benil Dariush earned the title shot, and I totally 100% ignored Oliveira's Charles, as someone that I thought could win. I was thinking he could win, but to be honest with you, I kind of just ruled him out, as not going to have a spectacular performance. And I know he's a great fighter, great champion. Not the greatest, but definitely one of them. I was, man, I got to tell you, what he did to Benil was very, very impressive and motivated. That just goes to show you, I'm just a fight fan like everybody else when it comes to people that I don't personally train. I don't know what the hell's going on. And this is a perfect case of my expert analysis gone wrong, or maybe not gone wrong, but I
Well,
was,
you had a leaning of what you wanted. You kind of had a leaning.
I wanted Benil to win, but I didn't think honestly that Charles was going to have such a fantastic outcome, and I was thinking that would be about the only thing that can change the outcome of what the UFC might want to do. So who knows? Who knows who Islam gets to dance with? Yet I don't know yet. I don't think the UFC 100% knows yet, but I think there's still potential dance partners. But if anybody has earned that right by his performance, Charles.
They were leaning towards it, but Dana said not till Tuesday. But let's not play around. That's kind of the one. That's what he said. Something to that nature.
I can't deny that either because he did such an unbelievable job, and most of us wrote him off as the next potential challenger. I definitely did. I definitely wasn't thinking it was going to be him, and now I have to be truthful, and I think that he's probably in the running.
Here's the crazy thing I did. So last night before the fight, I make these little short videos with my new software, and I hit up this artificial intelligence engine from Google AI, and I said, "Predict, tell me who's going to win the fight." It said Charles Oliveira. It said it right out. So I put up a little clip on a little short. It's like Google AI predicts Charles Oliveira is going to win. Sure enough, he
Yeah.
did. It even predicted Amanda Nunes, but I didn't think that was a long shot. I think that Charles, with all the good work we've seen Benil do, and then the last defeat, you kind of wonder if a guy's going to way back. But you got to remember all the guys he fought before and what he did to them. And
Yeah.
that's what last night I was reminded about.
Well, we also got to remind ourselves how motivated Islam was for the challenge and how good Islam is on the ground. And then that's something that I never forgot because I know what I have with Islam. But a lot of other people didn't really think Islam was going to do what he did. And although I knew it could happen, and it did happen, and yeah, no, it's one of those things where you know Charles excited. He's excited. He's excited, and he's very vocal about wanting his opportunity to get a title shot again because he feels that's his belt and he's still the champion and that's what champions should feel like the way he does. That's the way they should be like him. Like I'm the champion. No one's beat me yet. That type of thing. Because I mean, look what Israel Adesanya. Same thing. When Alex beat him, he was, "No, I'm the champ. I'm the champ. I no one's beat me. I'm the champ." And he came out with the vengeance. And it's kind of like Charles did the same thing.
Well, it's interesting because if you looked at it before, I don't know if something was said or I'm reading between the lines or my brain looked at too much material. Like maybe he wasn't 100% in his fight against Islam, just like how Islam was probably not 100% against the fight he won against Volkanovski. It's like they both have a higher level, is what I'm saying. The premium.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it is what it is. When we come fight time, we're prepared, and it is what it is. I thought we were prepared for Alex like we needed to be. He granted, we didn't get our normal rest time of 12 hours, but neither did Alex. So let's just say, we were ready. Can we be ready better next time if we meet him again? let's see, but we were ready. We were ready. I thought we were going to win, and I thought it was going to be a tough fight. Habib thought it was going to be a tougher fight, than I did. So Habib was right, and that's what happens. You go into the fight, and you don't know what's going to happen. And injuries can happen. Fighter ideas can change what they want to do, and sometimes a fighter listens to the corner, doesn't listen to the corner, and it's still, in my opinion, the fault goes on the coaches, which is in my case with Abu Bakr. The fault goes to me because I couldn't get to him. I couldn't get him to stop clinching with his opponent, Dos Santos, and I couldn't get him to do what I want him to do. What I knew needed to be done, I couldn't do it. So, I can't say why, what I used to do. This used to be me. Well, I told him what to do. It's up to him to do it. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's not true because you, as the coach, need to get to your fighter, and if you can't get to your fighter, then you failed him. If you knew what he needed to be done, and you knew he was capable of doing it, and you couldn't get him to that point, I'm sorry. We got to take the knife. And I learned that the hard way. That I got to take the knife because it was my situation to be able to get him back in the game, and I knew that I couldn't do it, so I failed. I failed with Abu Bakr. I didn't get him where he needed to be. So I got to learn that lesson and try to improve on for my next one to try to get to my fighter. If he's off track, try to put him on track.
Well, what if the guy's just hell-bent resistant? I know he's not the only one you've ever had that didn't hear you from the corner before. Like, what percentage of fighters over the history of your life as a coach has that happened with?
Quite a few.
30,
Quite a
40,
few.
50%? What do you think?
I don't really know in percentage. I just know quite a few don't follow, but they win. Like Habib. Habib was not really following my instructions the way I wanted him to, 100% either. But he was always winning regardless.
Yeah.
So only one time that he didn't win a round that I didn't want him to is when he stood for the whole round. And the third round, he stood with Connor. But other than that, Habib's pretty much won every round, except maybe there might be a case for Justin Gagey, I think, but I'm not quite sure. I don't remember what the scorecards were because it didn't go to the scorecards. But, definitely, with the Connor situation, I thought that that third round was one that he wanted to do what he wanted to do, and that's just it is that. So that was definitely something on my part too that I could try to control because we have to, even though we try, it doesn't mean it's not our fault because we tried. No, I think we have to look at it like it is our fault because we didn't get to them.
Yeah. It's just sometimes somebody locks you out. It's like worked in sales.
No, it's very difficult. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but I am saying that I have to learn to take the blame for it because that's going to help me become a better coach. Because I'm not going to take it like, oh, I did what I could. No, that just means try more combinations, try something else, try this combination, try that combination. Meaning, try this kind of talk or that kind of talk or this kind of technique or that kind of technique. Keep trying because if I continue to fail, I got to continue to try, and so yeah, so we just got to continue to try to get to our fighters. And if we're not successful, we're not successful, but we can't stop and we can't look at it like it's the fighter's fault because we know what the fighter needed to do and we couldn't get him to do it.
Now, not to turn it around on the fighters, but have you ever taken somebody from that situation and brought it all the way around? Like the guy that wasn't listening made him a listening, participating, changing his career, started winning on the right trajectory. Have you done that with somebody in the past?
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, quite a few where they weren't listening, then they were listening, and they started changing their fight career. Yeah. No, that's been done quite a bit. But that's as much as that's been done, it's done the opposite too, where I just can't get to them, and that doesn't mean they're not successful. It's just I couldn't get to them on the things that could have made them better. I couldn't do it. So, that's the challenge about being a coach. It's no coach is perfect. Some of us may think we are, but we're not. We're not. We're not the greatest thing, and we're not the number one necessary ingredient to make a champion. What the number one ingredient is the person himself, and the next ingredient is the sparring partners that are with them. That's why sparring partners are such a big deal in the boxing world because they know you got to bring in sparring partners to get to that level. If you want to get to that level, you got to bring sparring partners. But in MMA, that the money's not thrown around like in the big leagues and fighting, boxing. And MMA is starting to do it too now, where they're getting some guys coming in that are good for that particular style, and they pay them to come in and spar. So it's coming around like that too.
You see that changing. I mean, back in the day, 5-5, 6-6. There's no money left for anybody.
No,
Hey, even the
no,
coach.
yeah,
Coach, come on,
no,
$80. I want you to put in 3 months with me. No,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I could buy my
Now
own
it's different.
burrito.
Yeah, now it's different. Now these guys are getting paid real good money, and they're able to afford bringing in some good light type style fighting sparring partners. And it's very valuable. But even that's not guaranteed to give you a win either. It's not. We had Bilal Muhammad come in to help Abu Bakr, and although that was a great motivator, it still fight night. He fell apart, and I couldn't get him back. I could not get him back on track. Could not. I
Yeah.
tried. Don't brawl with him. Separate. Box with him. And then the fact that he injured his knee in the first round didn't help. It doesn't matter. I still, if he was able to fight, he was able to weather the storm. So I can't use that his knee as an excuse. No, it's just I couldn't get to him.
You were trying to get him to operate better with the bad knee, regardless, because
Yeah.
guys have won. Guys have won with Habib won with a broken foot. So if a guy can do
Guys are
that,
one with injuries. Guys are one with injuries. So let's not use that as a
they're not the
as
only
a
ones.
reason.
Most of the
No.
guys in the business have done it. You
Yeah.
never walk in 100% healthy and non-scarred up from all your sparring and training. And
Yeah. Well, look at the one fight in the UFC yesterday, Curtis. Who got headbutted, got that nasty gash on his eye,
Mhm.
and he was so upset because they stopped the fight. He didn't want the fight to be stopped, but he didn't realize he made the boo boos when he said, "I can't see." When you do that, dude, that's it. Tough luck. You're not going to get that fight. And he
It's
was
hard
busy.
to not to impulsively say that, blood leaking in your eyes, and like, oh yeah, I'm ready. That's not the first thing
Yeah.
your brain goes to. You're gonna say, I can't see.
But that cut on his eye was above his eye was so big, bro. It was like that was justification for stopping the fight in itself. So Curtis is about as big a warrior as they come. Incredible warrior. I was so impressed with him on that. He just wanted to continue to fight.
I think this is something my takeaway from the Charles and Beneil fight is that will move the needle because he did it in such a dynamic fashion. That was my takeaway. And the only thing that could change that would be something coming up that we're not expecting, but I really doubt that. I really doubt anything
Um,
gets past that because Beneil
it,
was a serious challenger.
serious challenger, and he was out there. He was ready, and I honestly was, because I wanted Benil to win. I felt he deserved it. I was honestly just kind of writing Charles off myself, even though I knew he was a great fighter, but I still was writing him off. It's funny how we do that, It's like, woo, dummy, that bad move on your part, because I wanted Benil to win. And that's what happens when we get clouded by things that we want, not things that are reality and things what you actually see. And in reality is that Charles is a great fighter, and I didn't acknowledge that as much as I wanted Benil to win because I felt he deserved it. So
Well,
that was boo boo on my part. So if you'd have listened to me, I was favoring Benil, and you bet on what I favored, then shame on you.
yeah, well, I'm glad I did not take my betting advice from you last night.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't have any bets, but hey, had I had a bet, but like when we said something, this goes back to martial arts. They used to say that one guy can beat your butt if you're just a street brawler with an overhand because he's a martial artist and he has multiple moves. He has a lot of different ways to dictate you, more weapons. And I felt that way about on the feet about Charles Oliveira, his athleticism, his kicks and everything. I never saw that kind of dynamic explosiveness with those kind of kicks and elbows and that combination, the way he mixes it up like a propeller standing up.
He did fantastic the way he mixed everything up, and then on the ground, you saw what I thought was Dariush dominated on the ground. Although Charles was still fighting, but he was still the bottom guy. Dariush was winning the fight. He was doing well. The stand up is what was the deciding factor. But Dariush never really hit nothing on the stand up with him until he got nailed going back, leaning back. That's when it all started going bad for him. No, man, Charles is a great challenge, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what Dana and the the UFC feel about what's the biggest fight to make? Is it Charles and Islam too? Or
I mean,
is it?
who else could it be?
It could be Volkanovski. You never know what happened with him and Yair Rodriguez. But I don't think I'm gonna wait that long to announce it, right? Or
Right.
what about Justin Gagey versus Dustin? What about that, the winner of that? I don't know. I just don't know how Dustin and Justin could override what Charles just did. I just don't know how Volkanovski now is gonna, even if he beats Yair, how that's gonna. I don't know. I'd have to say the front runner is Charles. And I definitely think, based on what I've seen, based on what I
Because
feel,
Charles
and
beat both of those guys, didn't he?
yeah, he beat both of those guys. So
And he just beat the next guy. So
yeah, so
that's kind
based
of
on
the
his
math.
performance, based
Yeah.
on his performance, and I
Rank.
think and based on Volkanovski's fight is in July 10th, right? Or 8th or 10th is July 10th, right? So that's far enough away that I think, and I could be wrong. Let's see what happens. But Dana knows what he wants. Dana and the group, they know what they're doing. So, we can just say no if the fight's been offered. But I'm never involved in those decisions. Islam and the management, they handle all that. I don't get involved in what do I think. They never ask my opinion. What I think. Should we fight this guy? Should we not fight that guy? I'm never involved in that. They handle what they do, and that's it. And I'm okay with it, because to me, the way I look at it, honestly, is when you're the champ, doesn't matter who they put in front of you. You fight all comers. You
Whoever it's
know.
going to be, it's going to be one hell of a tough guy.
Yeah, it
But you
should be
got to.
the toughest, most deserving guy, and that doesn't necessarily mean the toughest guy. That means the guy that gets more eyeballs to the screen, which is what they're looking at. It's a business, It's a business. They're looking to see what's going to make the most money for them, and rightfully so. That's what all promoters would do. They look for what makes the most money, not what person is more deserving. It's what makes the most money. So that's why.
What did you think about Amanda Nunes retiring and Dana possibly shutting down the division because they don't have a needle mover now? I guess.
Well, I think shutting down the division. Where is the division? How many women are actually that heavy that actually fight in that division? Just like in the heavyweight. Remember, we had the super heavyweight division
Right.
over 165, but no one really ever was there. So, how many competitor women are in that division? That's the thing. Is how many? I don't think there's that many. I think PFL is the only one that has it, right? The
Yeah.
145 featherweight, and even then, it's not a great. It's
Is
not a
it?
great division. It's not a
Is
great
it?
division, bro. It's not a great division. It really isn't.
It was Ronda. Ronda was in there, right? With
No, Ronda was 135. She was a bantamweight. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
recall.
my
I
bad.
don't. I don't recall Ronda being a 145er. I
Okay,
recall
that's
her
what it
being
was. That's
135.
I'm sorry, but I just when you lose an icon, let's say that had it been that they would have shut it down if there wasn't enough behind her, and vice versa with Amanda Nunes. That makes sense. And
Well,
if there's not enough fights, analytics, and the expense of running a division that's not making a return on investment for the UFC, that's another thing.
no, but you also got to think about the way Amanda did it with style. With style. I mean, she just one-sided the whole affair. She laid down her gloves, and it was like, what's left for her? I mean, if it's for money, if she wants money, no problem. But if she wants legacy, knowing full well that nobody beat her, and she's going to be for a long time regarded the greatest ever, I think that's going to stick with her for quite a while, man. Quite a while, because no one's beat her. She left on top.
Yeah,
So, man, I applaud that. That's a strong statement for her to have made, and very happy for her, And yeah, no, I'm very happy for her. She did it right. I kind of knew when she was looking to take her gloves off. I said, "Uh-oh, she's gonna retire." That's what I felt because they had said earlier about she was talking about something like that. So when she was looking for someone to cut her gloves off, I thought, okay, she's gonna retire.
yeah. I mean, she was great. She put on some tremendous fights. So best of luck to her in her retirement. You know, I think that's just whatever's selling and not selling. It's like didn't they get rid of the Mighty Mouse division, or they were about to at one
They did get rid of it.
time
Remember, they got rid of
years
Mighty
ago. I
Mouse.
forget what was happening
Yeah,
with that. This is
Well, that one time, remember
Okay.
the lightweight division was gone too. They had to get rid of the lightweight division in the UFC. There was no lightweight division.
Yeah.
Josh Thompson was up for the title fight, and they took out the lightweight division right before he was going to fight. And then Josh and them were going to go out with the UFC cardboard belt, the UFC belt. They're going to take it out into the octagon. And I looked at them. I said, "What are you guys doing?" He goes, "Oh, we're going to bring this." I go, "Hell no, do not do that." Because, that would have, I didn't know how that was going to come out. And I think, man, that's going to hit us really bad. No way. I tell them, no, you're not bringing that belt out there. No way. It was a cardboard belt, And for them to come out like that, I mean, I get the statement and I get the reasoning why, but I just thought it was going to be a big, bad move for us. So I think they agreed with me and they didn't bring the belt out.
What did you think about Connor knocking out the mascot at the basketball game? Did you hear about that?
I saw it. It's just a ploy to get him over on the fight because he's the bad guy that does bad things. So it's par for the course. But I don't really follow him very much. Honestly, I don't really care about him to do.
You can't avoid it, even if you're not looking. Even if you don't like it,
you can't avoid it. But I can.
It's not like you're calling me on the phone. Hey, man, did you see that? Let's talk about the PFL. You had Movlid. I know there's two other guys we're going to talk about, but Movlid, dynamic win. Looks like he's heading towards that $1 million top tier of the tournament there. Like he can be getting he won it once already. He's like he's just a killer, and he was the training partner of Islam when he fought Volkanovski. So yeah, this is
Mobley is a killer, and the one thing that they were saying that he was the best striker from Team Habib. I'm like, where the hell they get that from? He's not the best striker. He's definitely a good striker, but have you forgot Team Habib?
If you forgot,
they got some great strikers. Usman, Umar, Islam.
Right.
I mean, they got a lot of good strikers there. So I'm like looking at this guy like they're just trying to build up Mobley, which is great because he's a good striker. He is, and he's very very dynamic, very explosive, and very smart. And he fought a perfect fight. I was very impressed with Mobley. Very, very impressed. I was very happy for him because he is such a nice guy, and I was very happy for him. We were supposed to train him, but they couldn't come. So they came, and then they went to Turkey, and they got sent back. So they just went back to finished the remaining weeks at Dagestan, and then they went from there to the fights in Atlantic City.
Yeah, you were telling me that last time. Like, if you haven't trained him, you don't want to like just jump the shark and someone else put in the work, and also.
No, I don't like that.
And you're not connected with them either.
No,
right?
No, I'm not super connected with Mobley. No, I'm not. No.
Who were the two other gentlemen that was two other guys that fight out of your gym or train with your guys that were also on the same card? Are they in the same weight class?
There's one other guy that won the main event, Jesus Pineda. Mm-hmm. He beat the last year's champ Lachlan. He knocked him out with the knee. Jesus is Enrique Barzola's training partner. He came last year to train with us for about 2-3 months. So he was with us training for us. And he won the main event. And that was pretty impressive. That just goes to show you, never say never to anybody they don't have a chance, because, he was definitely the underdog by a wide margin. And the underdog knocked out the champ, the former champ, last year's champ. So, now Jesus is going to fight Bubba Jenkins. So let's see what happens. Anything's possible. That just goes to show you anything can happen. Jesus is really good, dynamic striker, long. He has a lot of fights. He's got a good record. And he can strike, and he can be very diverse with his strikes, from kicking to kneeing to everything. He's a pretty well diverse striker. Let's see what him and Bubba bring to the table. And then we got Mobley. Mobley is fighting the real Brazilian, real tough guy. I think that's going to be a heck of a fight. Mobley is going to have his hands full with the Brazilian. I forgot his name, but he is one badass dude. I think he's like 10-0 now, or 11-0.
Yeah, that's a tough guy.
Tough guy.
You've got now. There's a UFC 40, ESPN 47. Do you have any fighters coming up on that card, or Bellator?
No,
Who's your next for
well,
sure fight?
you forgot to talk about Andrew Sanchez. Andrew
Oh
Sanchez
yes, my bad.
is actually trained by my son Jeremy, and he won his first PFL debut, and it was a good fight for him. It wasn't exciting, but you know what I was really impressed with is right close to the end of the round, Andrew took a full knee on both his full knee right to his chin, while both
Mm-hmm.
feet were planted. Both feet planted, took a full knee, and I went, "Wow!" I thought for sure he got knocked out with that knee, but he took it. He took the knee, and I was thinking, how sometimes a fighter gets hit like that, and they're looking for ways out because he could have just said, I can't continue," and won by disqualification. And Andrew didn't do that, and I'm so glad he didn't because from the knee, it didn't look like he was shaking up. It looked like he got hit pretty good, but he continued. I think the second round, he was still probably trying to clear the cobwebs of what happened. And then the third round, he comes out strong in doing what he did. So I thought it was a pretty good performance from Andrew. He could only get better from that. There were some mistakes he's made, and but I think there's some things he can do that make it better. So I think Andrew Sanchez is going to be a potential contender for that title at some point next year.
That's pretty good. He's going to be you get your son coaching too, which is exciting. So you're happy to see your son's handiwork. Was he cornering the fighter too?
Yeah, he was coordinating Andrew. He was there with Andrew. Him and Theo Haig. Theo's an up and coming. Theo Haig is an up and coming. I think going to be star for Bellator. He's an up and coming fighter. Theo Haig. People watch out for him. This kid's phenomenal. He's got a great attitude. He has great work ethic, and he's a kid that came in from AKA Sunnyvale from Alex Kambabian, one of my partners, Jim. And he came over to AKA, and I didn't think very much of Theo. And when I was gone to Abu Dhabi this last trip, Ron Kessler says, Theo Haig, Theo Haig. I go, who? Theo? I go, not Theo. He goes, yeah, Theo. I go, no way. He's just okay. He goes, no, I don't know what's gone, but this guy is really kicking everybody's butt. I go, shut up. He goes, no. And I come back and I said, holy cow, Theo Haig has really improved. It's just supposed to show you that I don't pick all the winners. There's some people that I think would be just okay, and they'll turn out to be like potential stars. And he is one of those guys that has the potential to be a star. I would have never picked him to be one. Not even the potential.
Which of your fighters of the past fit that category for a brief moment, not forever per se, but before you knew?
Before I knew, John Fitch. I didn't think would be as far as he got, and look what he did. If it wasn't for GSP, he would have won the UFC title. John Fitch was definitely one of those underachievers that overachieved. He was unbelievable, and his attitude, everything about the guy was fantastic. And the beautiful thing is he did it with minimal help from me. I rarely helped him at all. And he still made it, and he still didn't care. He was determined. This is perfect work ethic, perfect mental ethic with him, perfect everything. And not talent though. He wasn't super talented. Was not. But no one told him that. He kept working and he made it work, man. Made it work.
Well, when guys like, let's say, Khabib, Rockhold, DC, they walk right into your place, and then you're like, do you go, oh, aha? It's like you're like, oh, Kane. Oh, yep. That's a winner. Like, was there some guys that just like right there, first week, you're going, I got one?
Well, no, the Habib and Luke Rockhold first day, like first instance I saw him. DC, no. DC, I didn't really know till I trained him the first training session. Then the next day he used it in sparring, and it looked like he's been doing it his whole life. That's when I knew DC was going to be great. But I didn't know from DC's first sparring. No, but Luke Rockhold and Habib, yes, I did. But not DC. I didn't know DC
What about
till
Kane?
later. Oh, Kane, yes. Yeah, I knew he was going to be great right from before he even sparred. I knew he was going to be great.
Well, I walked in there. He hadn't even fought in the UFC. I was like, that's the next UFC champ. I'm like, he's not even in the UFC yet. And that's how much faith they had in Kane.
Yeah. I knew he was going to be the champ.
That's totally wild. So who's now? You get Umar that you're training, waiting for like some pick me up fight last minute. So
we're trying to get fights for Umar. We haven't got a dance partner yet. Tahir, his training partner. We're trying to get one from him. Enrique Barzola is fighting on August 11th in Bellator. So he's back in training camp and he's here helping Umar spar. And also Shafi, who was scheduled to fight this coming week on Bellator, but he had an injury, so he's now rescheduled for August 11th. So he'll be fighting with Barzola. And this week I have Gaji. He's fighting in the Bellator. He didn't make it either to my camp. He's my guy too, but he didn't make it because of the plane got sent back from Turkey when they were coming over with Moblid. So he was come over training, but he didn't make it. And Usman, I don't know about Usman yet because I don't know when he's fighting. Bellator doesn't have a date yet for him. We don't know where we're going to go. I'm just waiting to find out where we're fighting. So when that happens, we'll know. And then Islam Makhachev, we still don't have a dance partner, so we can't say we're fighting on any day because we don't have a.
Oh yeah, Islam. My bad. I was going to say Usman. Yeah. Like that's Brent Primus. Yeah.
Yeah, Brett. We know Brett Primus is fighting Usman, but I don't have a date. But I'm saying with Islam, I can't really say we're fighting in Abu Dhabi because we don't have a partner yet. So I know they're looking to put us on there because they want to put Muslim type fighters on that one, which is good for that region. That's why Hamzat's on there, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe if Umar gets his fight and then he looks good and he's healthy, maybe they'll put us on there again, to help that card, because that would be great if I could get Umar again. But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
So you're kind of like in limbo. You're kind of like training. It's not like I'm packing up, I'm going somewhere. It's back to work, stay home.
No, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I know I'll be here for 2 months. And then from there, I know that I'll be going to one thing for sure. I'm going to go to Barzola's fight, August 11th. So I know that. And that'll be Shafi's fight too. So I do know that for sure. But no one else that I know of has opponents. Umar doesn't have an opponent yet. So that's not confirmed. And Islam Makhachev doesn't have an opponent. And Usman has an opponent, but we don't have a date.
So yeah, it's kind of like, what is it like for Islam? You think it's like a nice extended champion vacation with all this uncertainty, or they're trying to build it? They're trying to build his next fight is what they're trying to do.
I think they're trying to build it, but I think Islam's fine with fighting 2 times a year. This will be 2 times, for him. So this is right up his alley, what he wants. He'll probably defend it again if he's successful this time, another 2 times next year. Then knowing him, when he's getting closer to the age, he might want to go up to the welterweight. But who knows? That's projecting too far ahead. Let's just hope we get by the next opponent. On October 21st, if we get a dance partner. But I'm leaning now towards Charles. And look, this is what happens. You hear me talk before, you think, oh, Benil. And
maybe you lean on him, he won't show up. No.
Yeah. All of a sudden now it's Charles. And I'm like, there you go. There's the crystal ball that I don't have. So if people are going on my words, you can listen to me, and I kind of have a general idea, but I'm not right. Sometimes I am, but a lot of times I'm not.
50% of the time you're right. 50% of the time, there's the answer to that one.
Well, I think I'm right more than 50%, but sometimes I'm wrong.
Well, there's a card that's coming up next week. Vettori is fighting. He's trying to make a comeback. I guess he's always had Izzy always pushing him back somewhat, is one of those guys that's trying to get there. Like
he's the guy that would be champ if Izzy wasn't there, maybe. I mean, because you still got to remember.
Yeah, you still got other guys.
You got Robert Whitaker in there too, buddy. You got some real tough guys, So until he beats a Robert Whitaker type, then But Vettori is a tough customer for sure. He's good.
Well, he's got Jared Cannonier is who he's fighting. And that guy can pack a punch.
That's a good fight. It's a good fight. But how well did Cannonier do against Izzy? Not too good.
Yeah. You're right. He beat Sean Strickland. He lost to Israel in a unanimous. And he's beat Gastelum. He's had some good wins. But he lost to Robert Whitaker. That's Cannonier for you. And Vettori, let's see who he's beaten, not beat.
He's beat some good guys.
He lost to Robert Whitaker, and he lost to Israel. He beat Roman Dolidze or something like that. So there they go. That'll be interesting. I guess that's to shake up the division a little bit.
Like I
But
said, Robert Whitaker. He didn't beat Robert Whitaker, so I don't know. And Robert Whitaker was the champ before Izzy came in. So that's Izzy. Izzy is, hey man, say whatever you want, but that guy was determined, and he came back and he won that title with that determination and the hate, whatever. And maybe we don't like some of the antics he did, like that thing with the little boy, the champ's boy, pretending like he
yeah,
died. That wasn't cool. But hey, he admitted he didn't care because yeah, I'm childish, whatever. So F it, I did what I wanted. So hey, I gotta respect that. I don't like it. I don't think it's cool, but I respect it. I respect what he did because he's not hiding from what he did, and he's not saying it was the right thing to do. He said, "Hey, f you. It's me. I don't care. I'm childish. Call me whatever you want. I did it. It wasn't right, but so what?"
you've got also another fight, lightweight, Armin Sarkurian versus Joaquin Silva. That should be a really good fight.
Yeah, Armin has been on the hunt to try to get up there, and he's quite not made it. He came close, and he got shut down a little bit, and he's back trying again.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, that guy was like, we thought he'd be there sooner. There's quite a few guys, and there was another guy that was coming up. I'm trying to think of his name. He also has one of those hats, but he's not from Dagestan.
Yeah, with the S, right? Shavkov,
Not Shavkat. Shavkat's I think a division above. Gosh, man, I really need to learn my stuff. But, listen, everybody can criticize me for this one. I'm lost my train of thought. It's been a good long podcast. Any other final thoughts, Javier?
Nope. Good to
It's a
go.
good one. Okay, everybody, like and
All right.
subscribe, and then do it twice. Have a great day.